Hi there, this is Angelo John Lewis for the Diversity and Spirituality Network. And today I'm privileged to be interviewing a great mentor of mine named Frederick Dodson of realitycreation.org, which is a website that is really all about reality creation. Fred is coming to Princeton for a 3-day workshop, May 26th to May 28th. It will be at the Crown Plaza Princeton Conference Center. Fred has written more than 28 books on consciousness and success. His books have been translated into 7 languages, and he's held seminars in more than 70 countries around the world. He has a website, realitycreation.org, and you can also find him. You can find information about his books and other things on his Amazon page. All right. Now, all that being said, I'm going to give you the toll-free number that you can call me if you want information about any of this. That is 888-264-3517. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Frederick Dodson.
Thank you, Angelo. This is Fred Dodson. I'm happy to be talking to anyone who's willing to listen. Yeah, as Angelo said, I teach reality creation, which is the art of aligning your thoughts, emotions, the direction of your attention, your deeds, your identity, your activities, your actions, in the direction of the things you'd like to experience in life. Simple as that, which is, in my view, the most important thing anyone, anywhere can learn. And that's why I do it. That's why I've been doing it for the last couple of decades.
Fred, let me ask you a sort of a pointed question here. As you know, there's lots of books and workshops about how to accomplish your goals and all sorts of esoteric principles related to so-called law of attraction. I guess the question I want to ask you, Fred, is how is what you call reality creation, how is that different from magical thinking?
Well, I actually, it's nice that you asked me that, because I just recorded a video and put it on YouTube called "Do Thoughts Really Create Reality?" And I'd like to recommend that to anyone listening again, but I'll give the short answer if you don't want to go through the whole video. Magical thinking is the idea that you can, like in the popular movie The Secret, you can just think something and it's going to come to be. You can snap your finger and instantly it's going to transport you to the life of a multi-millionaire. It's going to transport you to being in bed with Scarlett Johansson. It's going to make you be an NBA superstar instantly, and that's magical thinking. That's that, in my opinion, does not apply to most people to a normal level of consciousness. It might apply to people at a higher level, but I haven't, as a coach of this for the last couple of decades, that's not what I've seen. The way it works, the way I teach it, is that it's a process of programming your subconscious over a certain period of time with new ideas, new feelings, new beliefs. And once those beliefs take root as beliefs, as subconscious, rather than conscious effort, once they become effortless and subconscious, they start influencing your perception and your behavior and your decisions. And those are the things that, by extension, change your reality.
Well, I mean, I guess this is a basic question, but what is it that stops people from getting what they want?
It's the short answer, your innermost, deepest core beliefs about who you are. Not just any beliefs, but the beliefs about your identity, the core of your identity, who you think you are. You attract into your life according to who you think you are, Just like I don't really get paid for the work I do. I get paid for who people think I am. And You'll see this in many places in life. Statistically, a doctor is less likely to get sick than other people. And that's strange because doctors are surrounded by sickness all the time. So you'd think they'd be sick most of the time. The reason they're not sick is because at the core of their identity, they are the source of health. And if you're the source of health, you're not going to get sick. Likewise, if you're the source of money, you're not going to get poor. If you're the source of this or that, you're going to have it. So essentially, from your identity, you give to the world, you contribute to the world, and that's what reflects back to you like a mirror. So you could say what people learn in the reality creation course is that their lives are a mirror of what they consciously, but more often subconsciously, believe about themselves.
Well, let's talk about the subconscious a little bit. It seems, if I read a lot of your works correctly, that the degree to one is able to work and understand what's going on in the subconscious and sort of transform the subconscious and working in your favor, that'll help you get what you want. Is that a fair approximation of your teaching?
That's completely correct. And this starts with effort, conscious effort, effort, until it becomes subconscious, by which it becomes effortless. Then whatever you programmed it with comes to you effortlessly, and it's normal. Once you become used to something as the new standard, as the normal, it becomes effortless, and that is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to learn. I wouldn't know anything that's more important.
So when people come to you for counseling or coaching, can you maybe generalize as to the sort of kinds of situations they're looking for, or what they're looking to have happen?
Well, a couple of days ago, somebody approached me and said he's been diagnosed with an incurable disease. And I thought, oh, that's quite a challenge right there. Do I even have, that requires a lot of work and a lot of attention. Do I have the attention and time to do that, you know? Typically, people, the one before that, which was last week, was about money. That's a usual topic. Money. Relationships, love, health is a big one. Once in a while, sex. Um, yeah, I'd say health, relationship, money are the three big issues. The three big issues of the ego, of the I. You know, it's all about I. What can I get? What about me? And that's what I help people with, how to achieve mainly those three things. Once in a while, people approach me on spiritual subjects. So as a coach, it is my job to know something about everything, every single thing there is. But most importantly, I have to know how the subconscious works and how success works.
Well, let's talk.
Because,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sorry.
Well, I was going to. You mentioned money, and I imagine it's a relatively common topic. People want to make more income. What stops people from doing that?
Well, here's something beautiful I can actually share with people right now that's going to improve their lot. Um, I say that money is the way the universe measures how beneficial and how much of service you've been to your fellow humans. So if you don't have enough money, think about how you could be more authentically of service to your humans. I've experienced and seen in many of my students and in myself how just this one thought, this idea of being of contribution and service to people, giving them real value, real benefit, this single belief as a core belief improves people's financial situations. Now, there's many more things, of course. That's not the only thing. There's other factors, but that's one of the most important. So that's something I can give to all listeners right now.
So that's basically like turning the attention away from self to others, serving others.
Yeah, it's most people who are poor are continually preoccupied, and you can observe this too. It's pretty much a fact with me, and how do I get money, and how do I want this luxury car, and I want this luxury that. And, you know, your customers don't really care about your luxury car. And if they feel that you're preoccupied, you're only doing business with them because you want a luxury car, they're going to be turned off. You know, if you go buy something somewhere, why? What people who want to get rich have to ask themselves is, who are you giving your money to, and why are you giving them your money? And it's always the same reason. You're giving people your money because you think they can give you something, they have something for you. Okay, and they are sources of something you want. Now, as you become source of something people want, you'll get rich, guaranteed.
So, as you know, I'm involved with something called the Diversity and Spirituality Network. And somebody,
Oh,
when I told you that when I told them that I was promoting your seminar, they said, "What does that have to do with spirituality?" So, I'm going to ask you that same question. What does reality manifestation have to do with
yeah.
spirituality, if anything?
Um, yeah, of course. There's the physical and there's the non-physical. And all success, all reality creation originates from the non-physical, which are your thoughts, your emotions, your dreams, your intuition, all those, your inner world, your consciousness. All those are non-physical things, and non-physical is by definition spiritual.
So, what role does religion help or hinder people from getting what they want?
Well, it depends on how you use religion, whether you use religion or religion uses you. You can practice religion in a loving way. And as many people practice religion as there's a source, a creative source of endless abundance, and a source that can create anything and make the impossible come true. And you can address this source. And, faith and belief in the unseen is a very valuable asset for any sort of success in life. And that's a positive approach to religion. And then the negative approach to religion would be using it as a way to judge others and separate yourself from others and saying, well, my religion is the best and yours is wrong and I'm going to fight you. And that's basically a waste of energy, using religion to fight others and to feel superior and to put others down. And there's so many different levels of consciousness from which you can approach religion. You can approach it from a low level of consciousness and start killing people who don't agree with you, or you can approach it from a high level of consciousness and use it to increase your love and your compassion and your contribution and your being guided.
So, at the root of what you do is you teach people tools and techniques for manifestation. And can you give me maybe a couple of examples of maybe sort of extreme cases in which you've been successful in doing that?
Well, there's so many, I don't know where to start. One that keeps coming to my mind is a guy who was in prison and he had regretted what he'd done, he'd um, asked forgiveness for that and forgiven himself for that. And he contacted me. How could I get out of prison? He had about 6 more years to go. And I started, he had email access actually, and I started a reality creation process with him regarding, lots of writing and writing and writing. He wrote himself out of prison basically by projecting his consciousness to a place of already being out of prison, feeling that way, seeing that way, until it became his second nature. So the idea of reality creation is always whatever you want, you have to be that already in order to attract it, because there's no such thing as the past or the future. There's no future in which he's going to be out of prison. There's only the now. So he has to make the best of his life right now. Okay, and that's what he did. And he got out after a couple of months, saved many, many years of being in prison. That's one of many examples. I experience examples of this almost every week. This week I healed, I've been playing tennis a lot, and I healed an injured arm using my own techniques. I'd injured my arm actually, and people said, well, you can't play anymore for a while. You can't play tennis, and you have to go see a surgeon, and things looked bad for me. I couldn't even write anymore. And then I thought, okay, what would Dodson do? What would Fred Dodson do? Um, which I often ask, what would he do in that situation? And he'd use his reality creation techniques, one of them being acting as if. That's what I used. I went to play tennis, played it even harder, and did so with great faith that it would heal. And it did heal at the end of my tennis session completely. My hand is totally fine. I can write again. I can lift shopping bags. And all that occurred within a frame of 3 days. Okay, so the idea was that there was no injury in the first place. Now, that's what a doctor would say. Well, if it healed so quickly, there was no injury in the first place. But, retrospectively, that's easy to say because before that, I was told that I would need surgery and couldn't play tennis for a long time. So manifesting happens all the time in my life because I teach it. You see, that which we teach, we most clearly learn ourselves and remember ourselves. And I'm so glad I teach this because that means I keep having to prove it and apply it, actually. Because there's a lot of doubt out there. There is so much doubt out there that these things even work. So I have to keep demonstrating that it works and that it still works. Even though I've done this for 20 years, I even demonstrate it to my students. They say, well, if I can really lose weight this quickly, why don't you show me? And that's what happened about 2 months ago. So I actually did lose weight. In the last 2 months, I've lost about 10 kilos. The main reason being to demonstrate it to this student of mine. Okay, but not to mention that I feel better having lost weight. But as a coach of this, I keep having to show how it works, and how it's done. So I'm very much into the manifestation thing, and it's very simple to learn. I'm not saying it's easy to apply at all times and to maintain aware, but it's simple, very simple. It's a matter of focusing attention, clearing out subconscious old beliefs and replacing them with new ones and doing that over and over until it becomes second nature.
Fred, one of the things you talk about continually in your work is the idea if you want to manifest something, you need to be the thing that you're trying to manifest or act as if. I wonder if you could share like a couple of techniques or in terms of what that really looks like. I get the idea that you can't just visualize something. You have to act as if you are the thing that you're trying to create. Can you share maybe a couple of techniques that you encourage other people to use or that you've used in order to sort of act as if or to be the thing already?
Yeah, sure. I'll recall my poor days. I was pretty poor throughout my entire 20s. But I always knew that if I, shift my identity just a little, new income would come in. So that's something that's always worked. So if I was unshaved and kind of laid back and had a bunch of pizza piling around at home, watching videos all day, all I had to do was shave, dress nicely, clean up the place, put perfume on and look good again, look sharp, look crispy, give a few people a call, and my income would go back up and I get orders in, for what I was doing back then. Because what you radiate basically is what you get. And if I show up at my boss's office all crisp and fresh and clean and ready to go, he'll be more likely to book me than if I come in a low state. So it's very state. What you get in life is very state oriented, and you can always up your state. We tend to, if you neglect yourself a lot, things tend to recede, and then you know how to get back on track. To wake up, to be more fresh, to be more there. It's a matter of identity. Just the act of preparing for success, dressing like success, or preparing materials for success, that's acting as if, that's acting in the assumption that something good is about to happen. So that's a really good tip right there. look at what you're preparing for because it shows whether you believe in your success or not. What are you preparing for day by day? Are you just going about your day like in Groundhog Day, where every single day is just the same and you're not making any changes and you're just expecting the same thing to happen tomorrow and more fights tomorrow with my spouse or whoever, and even more fights and more fights? Or are you starting to prepare for a different life? Are you, for example, if you want to manifest your house, start packing your bags. I'm quite serious about that. And this whole acting as if thing requires, it requires some imagination and some courage.
Well, I'm tremendously excited to meet you physically and to participate in the workshop in May. I guess let me ask you that. Let me just ask for the people that are considering signing up and coming to this. What could they expect? Or wait a minute.
Well,
Let me ask a different question. What is the
yeah.
best way for them to prepare to do this workshop?
Have the people come open-minded without preparation. They can expect to have fun because I play a lot of games. I try to teach what I teach in the form of games, which is the most fun way to learn. Games and, exercises, not much lecturing, not much talking, loads of games and exercises because it's about when people have fun, they learn and they program their subconscious. Now, if they're just sitting there listening to somebody lecture, that's no different than reading a book. And you don't remember much from reading a book, and you don't remember that much from listening to somebody else being successful, and telling stories. That's okay, but you learn the most from doing things yourself, playing yourself, experimenting yourself, imagining yourself, focusing yourself, and that's what people can expect to be doing. It's a lighthearted. Well, the workshop is lighthearted and easygoing, yet at the same time, very focused. And there's a lot of it's sometimes a little challenging to maintain your focus. So that's why I always switch what we do. I might do an exercise for 30 minutes and then I'll switch to something else and then something else just to help people maintain attention for 3 days in a row so that they don't get tired, so that they stay fresh and have a lot of fun. Anybody who visits the seminar reports that their life went upwards dramatically sometimes, and it's very well worth the time. It's very, very well worth it. 3 days of your life that can change the next 30 years.
Well, I'm looking forward to this so much, and if people want more information, they could go to the website, diversityandspirituality.com, or if they want to know more about Fred, they can go to his website, realitycreation.org. And
Or even my YouTube channel, actually, which
right.
is YouTube/Ocean of Silence. Just check out a few of the videos. That's kind of the vibe of what I teach, the gist of it.
And I don't remember what cutoff date we put on, but there's a discounted rate. I believe if you sign up by April 1st, you get a discount. So anyway, thank you, Fred, and we're looking forward to see you in a couple months.
You're welcome. I look forward to seeing you all.